I'm Dennis Kirwan, and joining me to look ahead to one of the best meetings of the National Hunt season are Davy Russell, one of our greatest ever jockeys and newly appointed National Hunt Racing Ambassador. We're also joined by one of Ireland's most successful trainers, Paul Nolan. Don McLean, Sunday Times racing correspondent and Racing Post columnist, is also with us, as is Dave Keena, racing journalist with the Irish Field. Davy, if we could start with yourself, there's some top-class racing to look forward to at the Fairyhouse Premier Jump Racing Weekend. It's one of the key meetings this side of Christmas, and you've some decent mounts to look forward to.
Yeah, again, it's wonderful coming into this time of the year. We have some lovely horses entered, and speaking to Michael and Eddie, there's going to be a good few of them run for definite. So very much looking forward to it. A couple of tough decisions ahead of me, but definitely it's a great time of the year.
Don, the Hatton's Grace Hurdle is the feature race of this particular weekend, and some great horses have won this down through the years, including the likes of Limestone Lad, Solarina, Brave Inca, and most recently Hurricane Fly. There's some great champions on the race's Roll of Honour, and this year's race promises to be a cracker as well.
It does, yeah, Dennis. As Davy said, this time of year, it's just fantastic. These weekends are leading up to Christmas, so when all the good horses come out, and there's a couple of novice chasers that we still haven't seen yet, so it's just a fantastic time of year. Hurricane Fly won it this year, or won it last year. Solarina won 3 of them. Limestone Lad won 2 before that, when the Bows dominated the Hatton's Grace. It's shaping up to be a cracker. The Real Article looks like Edward O'Grady's going to let him take his chance. He battled on really well at Down Royal to win that intermediate hurdle the last time. I suppose we look back on it now and wonder how he ever got beaten in the goal. We heard a lot of him back of 127, but he's a classy horse. He's a champion hurdle contender. He's an outsider, but he's still a champion hurdle contender at this stage. And Volala Vedette is the other one that jumps out at me there. Colin Murphy's mare. She's the top mare. If Covega wasn't around, she would have been a lot more prolific than she is. She looked very good in the Lisbon Hurdle last time, and she'll be a big player.
Dave, the Real Article, as Don says, is probably going to take his place in the race, and he's a very exciting prospect.
He is, Dennis. It's just going to be his first time over 2.5 miles, and if it's going to be very deep ground, you'd just be concerned about that. But the form of his race and of his winning down Royal is hard to knock. He beat Oscars Wells, who didn't put it up to 1,000 stars last week in Punchestown, but then again he did make him race, and he was a very good novice hurdler. So he sets a very high standard there. But Volala Vedette, she was placed in the race last year. She was 3.5 lengths behind Hurricane Fly. She came back and she looked better than ever when she won the Lismullen Hurdle. And I think between the two you're going to have a top class race. I presume Barry Garrity's going to be over, so he's going to have a choice to make whether he's going to ride Volala Vedette or the Real Article. So between the two, it looks a match between the two. But it is a race that throws up funny results. But at the moment, if those two turn up, you have a hell of a race.
Paul, moving on to the Drinmore Chase and the Drinmore Novice Chase, and you had success in this race a few years ago with Kill Devil Hill, and you're likely to be represented by Shinrock Paddy. How would you rate his chances?
Shinrock Paddy was very unlucky to meet a decent horse of Willie's in Naas the last day, and called Lambro, who jumped very well. My fella, he just tends to get in and pop a little bit. If the ground is heavy, he'd have a decent chance in it. There were 17 lengths clear of Stonemaster in Naas that day. But listen, he'd have to improve jumping wise. He just is a bit too fond of popping. It'd want to be very heavy, and it'd want to cut up. We thought now that if Gigginstown would only have the 2 runners, but if there's of last instalment and a few more of those run, we'll have to question whether we'll run or not. So.
Okay, thanks, Paul. Yeah, Davy, as Paul has said, Gigginstown have numerous entries in the race. With First Lieutenant, who won a Grade 3 chase at Cork recently, the likely pick of those for you?
Yeah, again, they have some quality horses in it, and they have some unknown quantities in the likes of Bog Warrior, who'll take his chance. First Lieutenant looks like he's heading there. Gift to the Gab could run. Last instalment, who was very impressive in Punchestown, could run because of lack of opportunities between now and Christmas. Rivage Dora got a rating of 130. Stonemaster may or may not turn up a little bit disappointing, finishing behind Paul's horse in Naas. He'd have to step up on that form to get involved, but I'm going to have a very tough decision when it come declaration time.
Now, as you may be aware, both Davy and Paul have been growing moustaches for Movember, and very decent ones they are too, although I have to say, Davy, I would give you the short-head verdict on this occasion, but both of you will be shaving it off in a shave-off with a few of your fellow jockeys and trainers who are sporting similar soup strainers, and it's all a bit of cracking for a great cause, and I'm sure you've probably become quite attached to your Ronnie at this stage, Davy, have you?
Yeah, we're going to start naming them now soon. We haven't for so long, and I just took it that extra bit. I said I'd go for the handlebar moustaches. I was always keen on the bikers having good-looking women around them. And to be honest, it's a big failure for me in that sphere. But yeah, it's a bit of fun, and it's for great awareness and for prostate cancer with men. So anything we can do to help that cause, it's wonderful. And look, we're having a bit of fun as we go along.
Yeah, as you say, yourself, a great bit of crack and all for a good cause. Don, moving back to onto the serious business and to the Drinmore Novice Chase. Don, you don't sport a moustache, but I'm sure you have a view on this race. And there's a lot of promising young chasers in Ireland at present.
This is it's like showcasing the Gigginstown Novice Chasers, and they have. I mean, Davy's got a hell of a choice to make if they all show up. Last instalment, he looks seriously good. Philip Fenton said that he does want soft ground, so although he does a form on good ground, so maybe when the ground gets a wee bit better, or maybe now is the time for him to make hay. First lieutenant, we know him, he won the Neptune last year. He looked I thought Davy was very good in him in Cork, just to get him home without him giving him too hard a race. And Bog Warrior, Tony Martin's horse, he looked phenomenal last time at Navan, over 2 miles. He jumped super down the back straight. He actually clocked a time that was 4 seconds faster than Big Zeb clocked in winning the Fortria later in the day over the same course and distance. So, okay, maybe they didn't go that quick early on, but for Paddy the Plaster did take them along in the Fortria. And it was a big performance from Bog Warrior, because he travelled well and jumped well, and then he found plenty when over the last 2 fences after setting a fair pace out in his own. So he's a very, very exciting horse, and I know Tony Martin rates him highly. It's down to what Gigginstown run, really, to be choosing between them at this stage from the entries. It's difficult, but they're very, very classy. Those 3 are very, very classy looking horses in what I think is really a bumper year for Irish novice chasers.
Moving on to the Royal Bond Novice Hurdle, and you won an Il Fenomeno the last time out at Navan, beating Dylan Ross, and that pair of stablemates could reoppose next weekend. Yeah,
again, my horse, I was very surprised with the way he doesn't seem to give you much of a feel during a race, but he keeps pulling out, and come to the line is where he's strongest. So, very much looking forward to him stepping up to Grade 1 company. Again, a very competitive looking race, and all depending on what will turn up on the day. But very much looking forward to it. His jumping was a little bit sketchy the last days in. There might be a little bit of improvement, and saying that there could be a little bit of improvement in the horse. So if that comes to light, I'd be over the moon to say that he could run a nice race.
He's certainly one to look forward to. Paul, looking through the likely runners, who stands out for you in the Royal Bond?
There's a horse of Dermot Wells, if he runs or takes a chance in that, called Galileo's Choice, and his form has worked out very well. He'll be definitely a very, very short price if he does stand up and take his chance. Gennari won very well the last day, high class bumper horse. It's whatever turns up. It's a little bit far away at the moment to see what will declare, but it's certainly a nice race. Probably not as competitive as the Drinmore, but still it'll be interesting to see which turn out now to be the better of our novices early on in the season.
Dave, what's your view on the race?
Dennis, again, like the Drinmore, this is a top class race. Il Fenomeno, he's 2 from 2 over hurdles. He was set some pretty stiff tasks at the end of last season. He was a high class horse in the flat. He was a Group 1 performer in Italy. He loves soft ground. He was impressive the last day at Navan and beat a good horse in Noel Meads. To me, it looks between the 2. Galileo's Choice is another Group winner in the flat as well. Won his maiden hurdle well, and I think if Willie runs Sue Le Sue, he rates him very highly. He was very impressive when he won his maiden hurdle at Fairyhouse, and if he turns up, he could be a big contender as well. But to me, Il Fenomeno, he probably sets the standard on the basis of his win in the for auction Novice Hurdle at Navan.
Yes, it's going to be some day of racing with those 3 Grade 1s. Now, I also caught up with Irish Grand National winning jockey Nina Carberry, who's sponsored by Fairyhouse and lives locally, and she is really looking forward to the meeting.
Yeah, it's going to be a very exciting time. This is when all the big horses come together from all those maiden hurdles and novice hurdles, and this is where we'll see what happens for Leopardstown. This race meeting will really tell what our champions are going to be for the year, hopefully.
There's great value in over the 2 days. Prices are reduced and there will be lots of entertainment.
Yeah, exactly. Prices are down and free under 18, so I think it'll be a great day for all families, and even if it is a bad day, they've got great facilities under the stand.
So that's our look ahead to the Fairyhouse Premier Jump Racing Weekend, which takes place on Saturday and Sunday, the 3rd and 4th of December. My thanks to Davy, Paul, Don and Dave, and also to Nina. And if you're making your way to Fairyhouse, the first race goes to post at 12:15. Admission is a tenner on Saturday and €15 on Sunday. And if you're going on Sunday, get there early, as the BBC's betting expert Gary Wiltshire will be among the guests at the Irish Field Betting Forum, which takes place in the ground floor of the Jemison Bar. And the event is open to all racegoers and promises to help them improve their punting techniques. Now, that's certainly the kind of help that I need. Now, hopefully we'll see you in Fairyhouse for what promises to be an exciting weekend of Premier Jump Racing action. So until then, bye-bye for now.